Have you ever wondered how you could have good relationships with the people that you work with in business and in life? Well, I'm about to tell you. Hey, it's Don Skaggs again with Empowered Inventing TV, where we try to help you help other people by taking your great innovation, the right opportunity, mixing that with sound wisdom so you can turn them into real things like products and businesses that make money. Now today, I want to talk to you about good relationships both in business and in life. Because sometimes good inventors and entrepreneurs with some really great ideas have their products or their businesses just crash and burn for one reason alone. Everything else is working great, but they have one thing that just totally destroys it, and that's bad relationships with partners, collaborators, or even sometimes family. And on balance, I've seen many of these types of people recover after learning some very hard lessons, the ones that I'm about to relay to you on how to work with people. And if I can relay some of these things to you and they help you, then maybe I can help you to avoid having some of these bad relationships and just surviving some really, really tough times of a bad business relationship that goes bad, that you have to recover from and move on. Or worst case scenario, it just totally just scars you and you're just like done with it. And that's the worst thing to do. By the way, if you have been scarred by a bad relationship, don't let it destroy you. Don't let it destroy the progress or your ambitions or your movement forward. You can always get yourself up. You can always dust yourself off. Doesn't matter how long it went on. No matter how old you are. No matter anything. You can move on and do something else. You always can. So anyway, that being said, I want to talk to you about some principles, some of these hard lessons that I've learned and that I want to relay to you. So number one is remember this, is you can't force bad people to do good things. So, you have to choose to behave following the right principles, and you have to choose people that are going to do the same thing. They're going to make the right choices of following the right principles. And by the way, these lessons I'm about to tell you, they apply to other people that you're looking to have business relationships with. And they also, more importantly, apply to you. So if you're not doing these things, you could end up being the cause of the bad relationship. So just think about this as it applies to you, and thinking about it as it applies to other people and what they choose to do before you choose them as a business partner, as a collaborator, as some person you have a relationship with your business or your product development. So here we go. Like I said, you can't force bad people to do good things. You have to choose to behave with these right principles. So be loyal and be consistent. I guess that's the first thing I want to tell you. Do what you say you're going to do. Don't be fickle. Don't be erratic. Don't, change your mind 3 times before lunch. And if somebody does that, that's a warning sign. That's a red flag. So be consistent. Do what you say you're going to do. Don't say one thing and then do another. And a lot of these are real simple, but it's these kindergarten level principles sometimes so many adults miss, and it ends up just mucking up their life and their business. So be loyal and consistent. Something else, don't be hateful to them. Don't be scornful. There's an old antiquated word for this called scornful, having scorn. And I kind of like that. Scorner's going to scorn. I think that ought to be a T-shirt somewhere sometime. I just but anyway, scornful's I think a good word for this. And by the way, if you're going to be mean, hateful, scornful, that's true whether it is to their face or behind their backs. You know, some people it's like, oh, I don't want to be confrontational, but you know, I really don't like, you know, blah blah blah. And so they don't say anything to them, but when they're gone, then they say it to a lot of other people. That's bad. Okay, when you see that in other people, that's bad. That's a red flag. Don't have that for yourself. Now, not being you know, being nice to people, and I'm one of these people. I like to be nice to everybody. I really do. But it does not mean that on the right occasions and the right circumstances that you don't give them what I would call tough love advice. Advice, rebuke, things that are okay. Yeah, you're not going to want to hear this. I'm sorry, but this is an issue and this is a problem. But you do it with a heart full of love. You don't do it in a mean-spirited sort of way. Another one is don't keep the company of corrupt people. Again, some of these I know they sound like no-brainers, but when you say them, but when you're out doing life and doing business, you'd be amazed the people that say, well, you know, he did that, but you know, maybe he won't do that again. Yeah, a big red flag, by the way. So don't keep the company of people who are corrupt. Don't keep the company of people who are given to anger, people who, you know, blow up and, you know, they can't control their emotions and they do and say inappropriate things. They want to say, well, we won't tell him we're doing this, but what we're going to do is this. Again, that's not being loyal or consistent. Some of these are just kind of refer back and forth to each other, by the way. So don't keep the company of people who are corrupt or people who are, keep the company of people with integrity. And by the way, if you don't know what about integrity, there's an interesting background on that word. It comes from the word integer, which, if you know mathematics, it means a whole number. In other words, it doesn't mean a fraction number. It's a whole number. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. It's not 1.5 or 3 3/4 or anything like that. And it makes a lot of sense if you think about it. People with integrity, or people without integrity, rather, are not whole. They're dysfunctional. They're deceiving. They don't do the right thing. And usually it's because they're broken. They're fractured. So, and by the way, here again, you have to have this integrity yourself. And you have to be whole yourself if you want to have good relationships with other good people that are like that. Do what you promise, even when it's difficult and painful. I know that kind of sounds like being loyal and consistent again, but sometimes you'll say something. Okay, we're going to agree to do this, and then it comes time to do this, and something's changed. Something is. And sometimes it's painful, or if it's difficult, and you're thinking, "Oh gosh, yeah, I said I was going to do that, but gosh, now it's going to be really hard. You know, I said that, but now it's time to do that, and this is a hard thing." No, you have to do what you promise, and you have to see this in other people as well. If you were to offer financial help, or if someone was to offer you financial help, this is very important. Make sure there's no hooks. And by hooks, I mean interest. By hooks, I mean it's a loan. By hooks, I mean you have to pay it back. Because it changes the relationship. The borrower is slave to the lender is a really, really good old proverb. And it's true if you think about it. It changes that relationship. All of a sudden, they have something over you. If you're going to offer financial help, make it a gift. Don't expect to be paid back in return. Say, yeah, I want to help you. And, you know, maybe someday you'd like to, you know, help me if I'm in need, or do a favor for me later, or whatever, but you have no expectation of that. I think it's very important, especially, again, when it's a relationship. Another thing, this is real important, again, well, they're all important, is don't have a win-lose mentality with other people. You know, and really the thinking behind that is, I can only win if I push you down and you lose. That's bad. That's really bad. You don't want to be that way. There's a way where everyone can win, and you need to find what those are. And again, if they have a win-lose mentality, big red flag. I don't know if I want to get engaged to this person for any type of business I'm doing. So basically, just remember the golden rule applies for everyone, especially adults in business. And again, you know, we think of the golden rule is what kids do on the playground. No, it's what adults need to do in real life and real business. And if you're not familiar with the golden rule, is you treat other people just like you'd expect to be treated yourself. And you'd be amazed at how that will help you moving forward in business. The cutthroat shark mentality of, I'm going to get him before he gets me, I'm going to gobble them up, I'm going to be predatory. No, that's Hollywood. And by the way, don't use Hollywood as a template for doing business. Not a good idea. So anyway, for more information, you want to sign up now on our website, empoweredinventing.com, and you can sign up for our upcoming course called Who Do You Trust? Buying products and services without getting ripped off. We talk about business relationships in there. So anyway, sign up for that now. It's upcoming. It's not released yet at the time of this recording, but it will be soon. So anyway, I'm Don Skaggs. This is Empowered Inventing TV. Like, subscribe, help us to build our tribe. If you know somebody that you think this will help, share it with them and let them know about it. And I will look to see you at the next meeting, workshop, maybe one of the online courses, or on the next video.